Anikulapo begins by first establishing a Yoruba myth that in the olden days, when a person dies, they are not buried immediately. In fact, they are not buried in the ground. Rather, their corpse is taken into the sacred forest. The reason is because it is believed that the person has to be judged first. How? Well, the Akala bird will resurrect the person and then decides if the person died untimely or timely. If it is not yet his or her time, the person will continue to live. But if it is time, the person will be moved to the great beyond. Now, we see one of such person who died and was resurrected by the Akala bird. His name is Saro. So the bird asks, "What is the cause of your death?" Saro begins to explain. So film villagers, gather here, let us hear the cause of Saro's death. Quick disclaimer, this recap is for educational purposes only. Anikulapo is directed by the talented Kunle Afolayan, and this recap is not meant to replace that movie, neither should it stop you from watching the full movie on Netflix. Also, this recap contains heavy spoilers. If you're just joining us, you should definitely subscribe and turn on the notification icon. Hi, this is Sam. Welcome to the Film Village. Oyo-Ile is having their festival. People come from several other Yoruba lands, both for the festival and some just to relocate looking for a greener pasture. On that day, Saro arrives. "Young man, are you here for the festival?" "I'm not here for the festival. Though." "What festival?" Saro is really not after all that. He is after his business. The next day, since he is a stranger in that land, there is no place for him to sleep, so he had to sleep in front of Awarun's hut. Awarun says, "Where did you come from?" Saro says he's just a traveler. He only passed the night and he will be leaving. "Haba, don't leave." As they were speaking, the blacksmith Akanji was watching. He knows this woman very well. He was just looking at the stranger, Saro. Another fly is about to enter the spider web. Okay, Isha kept his cool. Awarun then asked Saro, "Oh, so why are you here? And what do you do?" Saro says he is from the town called Bogon, but he travels around to look for new market to establish his business. "Oh, what business?" Saro says he weaves clothes, known to the Yoruba as Ashofi. "Oh, you are lucky. And if you prove yourself quickly, you will definitely make it in this land. What's your name?" He says, "Saro." "Okay, good. Don't go yet. Let me find you food to eat." This woman is just feeding the cock before she eats it too. As in, I mean cock. Kukurunku. Stop thinking something else. Then we are also shown the queens of Oyo. The eldest of them, called Queen Mother. Queen Mother then called one of the princess, Kikelomo, the daughter of the third queen, to call Queen Arolake that the royal hairmaker is around. Hey, come. My child is not a slave to go such errand. Send someone else. And if Queen Arolake needs someone to be sent on errands, then let her go and bear her own children. While she was blabbing, Princess Omowumi, the daughter of the second queen, just gets up to go and call Arolake by herself. These women, una wahala too much. So she calls Queen Arolake out. Queen Mother then tells Arolake not to mind them, that they are only envious of her that she is a fresh wife and she is the king's favorite. Then she also blesses her that she will bear her own children soon. Awarun asks Saro what he plans to do now that he is in Oyo. Saro says, I have a job now. I will resume my clothes weaving again. She then advised that he should come work under her. Come work for her, get paid, and then gather his savings to establish his own business soon. She takes him to her pot making yard, introduces him to them all, and yes, Saro as an hard worker. Don't worry, you will see why I keep using the innuendos later. Hardworking Saro begins to work. He was a bit timid at first. Something that he has never done before in his life. But one of the staff tells him not to be scared. There are several sections. If he is not fitting in one part, he can move to another. Queen Arolake goes to meet the senior queen, Wojola, to collect the mirror she lent her some times ago. Queen Wojola says that she has returned the mirror now. Anyway, if she finds it in her own chamber later, she will bring it to Arolake's chamber. As Arolake leaves, Queen Wojola insults her that all she knows is to stare at the mirror and dress up. Now, after the market closes for the day, The blacksmith informed Saro not to stay long at the market at night, that it's risky. Risky. Why? Akonji says, well, he has told him if he stays longer than he should, whatever happens at night, he shall see. That night, the king and Queen Wojuola were about to resume their nightly duty when Queen Wojuola mistakenly said something she shouldn't. She began to question the king that he neglects her for Queen Arolake, the youngest queen. Hey, it's like this woman is not even horny enough. The king got angry and left her chamber to meet Queen Arolake. What a pity. Now, as he enters Queen Arolake's chamber, hey, my king, I don't want trouble. It's Queen Wojuola's night tonight. The king persuaded her. Okay, my king, it's my time of the month then. Just to make sure the king doesn't enter. But you know what? The king still decides to satisfy himself like that. Anyway, now let's go and see why I have been calling Saro a hard worker and why Awarun has been feeding him since. While Saro was sleeping that night, Awarun quietly enters. Wait, she begins to caress him. Saro wakes up shocked. Shocked? Well, shocked or not, he satisfied Awarun. So much so that the next day at work, Awarun sends him the best meal. While others are having the usual, she gave Saro enough energy-giving food. He needs it now. He has a lot of work to do later in the night. Queen Wojuola then brings the mirror to meet Arolake. You should have sent the children to bring it instead of stressing yourself. She says, no, I don't want them to break it. The queen then tells the younger Queen Arolake that she's the king's favorite. Arolake says, no, you are. Okay, if I am, why then does the king always leave my chamber and sneak into yours when it's my turn of the night? Actually, she knows this because the other queen told her. She calls Arolake a witch. Arolake says, I am not a witch. Even if I was a witch, I would have used my power for better things than luring some old man. Did you just call the king old? Arolake says, that's not what I mean. Queen Wojuola then insults her, using her barrenness to mock her. She says, while they bear the king's royal children, Arolake is useless, useful only for pleasure by the king. Please, my mirror. Then she intentionally drops it and breaks that expensive mirror. Back then, mirrors are so expensive that even people are sold as slaves just for a mirror. That night, hardworking Saro digged some well again. The next day, Akonji could no longer help himself. He called Saro. He warned Saro to be careful of Awarun, that she only takes naive and new men that comes to Oyoile as lover. She uses them to satisfy herself and then dumps them. Instead of Saro accepting the advice, he shuts him up.
Keep quiet. What nonsense are you saying?
Now, Queen Arolake sits with other queen to start making a bead when it spills on the floor. The third queen's daughter wanted to help Arolake pick the bead when her mother quickly grabs her away. Queen mother says, take it easy now. She's only helping her pick her beads. Why should my daughter help her pick her beads? Is she a slave? I'm not the cause of her childlessness. Painful. Queen Arolake had to leave that sitting. That night, Queen Arolake could not sleep. She'd sit, staring out through the window, while the third queen is expecting the king in her chamber for it's her turn of the night to be served. Guess what? As payback, Queen Arolake sends a servant to tell the king that she is hot. She needs his help. Help care. The king gets there quickly. It was a trick to get the king into her chamber and steal the other queen's turn of the night. Well served. Arolake 1, Queen Sunkanmi 0. Sugar Mommy Awarun also takes Saro to the newly acquired land for him where he can set up his own business. And yes, set up he did. Already with 2 apprentices. She also directs customers to him.
Here they are.
Look, isn't this good? Are you out of your mind? Beautiful, mother.
Queen Arolake was in her chamber when the servant enters. A new face, someone different. They sent her to give Queen Arolake her fertility herbs. Queen Arolake was curious at first. Where is the person that usually brings it? She says, she does not know. They just ask her to bring this one. Okay. She collects it and drinks, then gives the container back to the girl to return. You can feel it in this scene that something is not right. Later, in the market square, Saro sees a new face. A new man has entered the village, and we all knows where new people goes to. That night, he was ready, and waiting for his sugar mommy to arrive, but she didn't come. And because she didn't come, he can't come, and he needs to come. So he goes to her house to know why she can't come. Come over. Sorry guys, I won't say come again. Getting there, he finds his sugar mama with the new man, Akala, that just entered into the village. Chai, he mistakenly made a sound that notifies them inside. Akala rushes outside to check who is it. Saro has hidden somewhere. Saro is clearly angry. The next day at work, he is not happy. He could not even sing as usual. His apprentice even teased him that he should sing for them now. About fires them. Come on, get to work. Then Awarun arrives. She greets everyone, and Saro refused to reply. Mature woman now. She gets the point already. She then sends the boys on an errand so they can both have matured people talk. So what's wrong? I'm talking to you. Saro says, who were you with last night? Awarun begins to laugh. See this fool. So you were the one creeping about that night. She insults the living shite out of him. She says she can do whatever she likes with anyone and no one can question her. Remember guys, Akanji has warned Saro earlier. Awarun is a man-eater. Exactly. Lesson learned, right? Later that night, Awarun still goes to Saro to beg for forgiveness. Saro was claiming her to get. See, Saro, I can't marry you. You are too young for me. Let's just continue with what we are doing and forget the rest. She then gave him a good news. Yes, she has recommended Saro to the queen. They need new clothes and Saro will be their clothes weaver. Wow, he is excited that he will finally be working for the royal household. And with that excitement, he made love to her. You see, I didn't say come. The next day, he arrives at the palace. The queen starts to make their choice, select the clothes they want, including one for the princess. But notice that Princess Omowumi is beginning to have a crush on Saro. Oh my. They all made their choice, but wait, one is left. Queen Arolake. The maid tells him to wait while she go call Queen Arolake. As Queen Arolake comes out, immediately it was love at first sight. He falls in love with the king's wife. Hey, wahala. Are you guys already foreseeing the cause of his death? Okay. That night on his way back to the house, he sends someone following him. Saro looks back several times, but he continues going. As he enters the bushy part of the town, the queen jumps on him, she undresses him and also herself, and the rest is history. Now the queen come meet him. Yeah. Princess Omowumi cannot even hide her feelings for Saro anymore. While talking about the new clothes she just selected, she ends up talking about Saro instead. The mother says, she noticed. She sees them both looking at each other. The girl cannot hold it. She says, Mommy, truth be told, he's so handsome. Please, bring him to the palace again. I want to select another fabric. Hey, princess. Saro gets home. Awarun is already waiting for him in the house. Wise woman. She knows something is wrong. Saro, where are you coming from? Saro says, why are you questioning me? At least I don't ask you where you go. Anyway, I stopped by to see some friends. Awarun says, you are lying. You don't have any friends. Saro says, I have many friends. The next day, Princess Omowumi meets Queen Arolake. She noticed how happy Queen Arolake looks today. Lively. She don't collect. Princess Omowumi asks her to come out into the sun, at least for her skin to freshen up. Queen Arolake says no. She doesn't like the sun. It's too harsh. She prefers the moon. The moon is a gentle lover. You get it? Moon. Gentle lover. Saro. Well, Princess says, me, I don't understand what you are talking about, so. She says, don't worry. You soon will. Wait till your father finds a man for you, a handsome prince. She says she will choose a man by herself. She then asks Princess if she already has a guy she is looking at. Princess says, there is no good man in the palace recently except the clothes weaver, Saro. Someone that Arolake just club shukrimshu with the other night. You like him? Princess says, no, not at all. He is just interesting and good looking, and he will be coming to the palace again today. Saro goes to the palace to meet the princess for her to select another clothes. Princess is crushing, but Saro's eyes is looking around for Queen Arolake instead. Chai, no show. Queen Arolake no come out. Even on his way home, he waited at the bush again. Maybe there will be some night action, but nobody shows up. Hey, see Saro, come and be going home, please. But wait, getting home, guess who he sees waiting for him? Yes, Awarun. No, not Awarun. Queen Narolake. This time, she brought the match to Old Trafford. Yes, the referee kick off and the Premier League was a good one. They even called it for a while. Now, see where problem starts. Princess Omawumi goes to Arolake's chamber but could not find her that night. She starts looking around. On her way outside, the queen enters. Where were you? She says, she just went out for some fresh air in the moonlight. Remember I said the moon is a gentle lover. Princess Omawumi kept those words in her mind though. The next day, Saro goes to meet Awarun to apologize for not coming to fulfill his duty towards her that night. Awarun says she's not mad at him, she's only scared for him. She says Saro is taking more than he can chew. She wants Saro to be careful because the path he is treading will land him in trouble. That night, as usual, Queen Arolake arrives again. Hey, Wahala, abeg, please, come and be going back. The queen says, no, nah, she's there already. Let's just enjoy the moment. She says she misses him and she needs to see him. After they finish their activities for that night, Arolake says this is the first time she is happy in her life. She then tells Saro how she got into the palace in the first place. She was married off to the king at the tender age of 15. Ha! That's too young. Since then, she has been in that palace. She even tried to kill herself several times. She felt trapped, angry and sad. Now remember that fertility herb they brought her that day? It was poison. The other queen poisoned her, although she survived. So the only place she could find happiness is with Saro. Guys, the problem is, when a man steals the king's flute, where will he play it? Anyway, Saro also narrated his own story. He was only 6 when he was sent away to Osu. Finally, that he is free now and in Oyo with his own work, it's either he dies or make it. These two lovers are desperate. They don't even care anymore about anyone. Saro says only death can separate them. Arolake then suggests that they elope. That night, they should pack up and flee, at least to where no one will know them. They can start a new life. She says she can't return to that horrible life at the palace. This is hard though. But you know love. Saro made the hard choice. When Arolake says she will quickly go and pack up her load. Outside, Princess Omawumi was seeing them. She was shocked to see that the queen has another lover. In fact, the lover is Saro, a man she is crushing on. The angry princess blew the trumpet calling her whore and husband snatcher. She then runs to report to her mother. The whole village scattered that night. After Saro finished packing to go meet Arolake at their planned rendezvous, Saro was caught in HD. In fact, he was caught in 4K. The king and chiefs then made the decree that Saro should be taken out of the town and beaten to death. Oh, Saro, Yamio. Abi, is that not what Burna Boy sang? You could die for this night too. Oh, anyway, they beat Saro. They beat him until he dies. And Arolake was there watching everything. Her lover, Saro, is gone. Now you have seen what led to Saro's death. He chewed more than he could swallow, despite several warnings. Even Awarun feels the loss. Her body tells her that Saro is no longer in the land of the living. The next morning, the Akala bird arrives to judge him. Remember, the bird will first resurrect the deceased before questioning him. The god or charm that contains the power of resurrection that the bird always carry around is always there. Arolake jumps out of hiding. She hits the bird with a stick. The bird flew away. She then takes the resurrection god and grabs Saro too. It was a struggle, but they were able to flee from the outskirts of Oyo-Ile. Wandering in the forest, not knowing where to go, they spent many days and many nights just going and going and going. Arolake truly loves him, but does he love Arolake this much? One time, Arolake is too tired to walk. My body hurts. I am so hungry. We should have just stayed and be killed. Saro says, Arolake, don't think in such manner nah. Saro says, okay, she should wait for a while he go look for something they can eat. After he leaves, Arolake brings out the resurrection god to look at it. As she hears Saro coming, she quickly hides it again. Saro says, "What did you hide when I was coming?" She says, "Nothing. I didn't hide anything." Okay, they continue eating their paprika papaya, aka Popo, aka Popo. They also found a small stream of water to drink from. They are now a bit relaxed. Then they continue their journey until around evening time when they were met by an hunter. "Good evening, travelers." They ask where the nearest village is. The hunter says, Ojumo village is nearby, but they can't make it before nightfall. Saro says they will manage. The hunter tells them that slave traders are around and they may be captured and taken as slaves. Eh? Slave traders? No. Good. He then suggests that they follow him to his hut in the forest where he passes the night before going back home the next day. If you like, follow me. If you like, don't follow me. Now Nasabi. Do they have a choice? No. They follow the hunter. Early the next day, they all walk into Ojumo village together where the hunter lives. But wait, something terrible has happened. The hunter's only son, Akin, is dead. Mourners everywhere crying like someone died. Well, someone died. Oh, this is sad. Arolake watches and she can't bear that pain. Remember that she knows the power of the god in her hands. And Saro knows nothing about it. He doesn't even know she has a guard on her. They can't watch their helper suffer like this. Arolake then calls Saro aside. "Remember I told you how the mystical bird brought you to life?" Saro says yes. She then brings out that god. "What is this?" Saro is scared. Arolake convinces him not to be a coward. Now is the time to be brave. She says their life is about to change forever. Enticing, eh? Saro then collects it, approaches the dead boy. He uses the god to touch his forehead and then calls out, "Arise!" Everybody jackpot for their lives. Hey, the dead has resurrected. How? The hunter is extremely excited. He then feeds them to satisfaction. Now, as they were eating, the king's mouthpiece arrives. The king has commanded to see the resurrector immediately. Now, with songs and dance, they accompany the now famous Saro, now known as Anikulapo, which means the one who holds death in his pouch. He is now like a god to them. Getting to the palace, the king asks, "Are you the man called Anikulapo?" He says, "My name is not Anikulapo, great king." "So what's your name?" "My name is Saro from Bogon." They question him about resurrecting the boy and he confirms it. Then they ask him if he can do it again. He says yes, so there's nothing God cannot do. One of the chiefs then asks him where he came about such power. He says he cannot disclose that information. The king blessed him with lands and homes and servants. Saro is now a big man, and Anikulapo himself, the one and only resurrector, the hard worker. Hey. That night, Arolake questions Saro about the king. She says she hears that he is dumb. He doesn't speak. Saro says no, he is not dumb. He speaks to his wife and chiefs in private, and anyway, that is not why we are here. Let's move on. Saro then says, okay, now they have an house and they are set. What about work? At least he needs to work so he can feed his family. Or will he be resurrecting people here and there? Is that what he's going to do for the rest of his life? Arolake says, be patient, and they both laugh. The next morning, people start bringing their dead for Saro to resurrect, like a faulty car to a mechanic. And away, he resurrects every single one of them, including old women that doesn't want to be resurrected. People start worshipping him, bringing him foods, livestock, and every, oh boy, Saro don't chop life. Arolake now has servants that tend to her. One day, when Saro was coming back home, he saw something. Arolake's maid Omonwon put a weapon of harsh destruction. The positioning, the angle, and the curvature of the hips, oh boy, Saro could not resist. Remember, he has always been a hard worker. The chief priest of Ojumo land, Ifakunle, meets the king to warn the king about the Anikulapo. They need to be careful of this man. In fact, he should be sent away if possible. The chief says he is only jealous of Anikulapo because he doesn't have the power to resurrect like Saro. Hey, me? The chief priest even says Anikulapo will die soon. and that if he is who he say he is, the king should order him to bring the guard for it to be examined. Now at his house, Saro was solving some mathematical equations. Remember, he saw some algorithm the other day, the one Omonwon, his servant girl, positioned in front of him. Oh, how can he finish these calculations? He quickly runs to prepare the surfaces where he can write and properly calculate the... enough of the metaphors. He calls the girl in, pretending that death entered his eyes. Please, help me, blow it off, blow it off. She too wants to do good servants, not knowing danger is looming. Anyway, Saro traps her like a fish and she was bedded. Even Albert Einstein no do past this one. Later, Saro was invited to the palace again. The chief priest questions him about the god. The king says they need to understand the power he possesses in detail. Saro says his power is from God. Exactly. One of the chief begins to hype him, begin to say good things about Saro. Saro says he feels attacked. Why are they asking about his power? The chief priest even asks Saro to surrender the god to him. Will it work if someone else uses it except Saro? The king says they only want to know if the god and its power will not have any dire consequences to the entire village later. Saro says, at this point, if you want me to leave your village, I will leave. If anyone except me, Saro Taiwo, touches the god, the person is ready to die untimely. Hey! Saro gets up and leaves, even without the king asking him to leave yet. Now, at home, 2 weeks has elapsed and the result of the equation Saro did with Omonwon the other day is out. Arolake tells her she's pregnant. Then she asks who is responsible. Omonwon cannot say that Saro is. She kept quiet and then Saro enters the room. What's wrong with her? What did you do? Speak up. Arolake then says she is pregnant too. Omonwon was just gesturing that it is what they did. Arolake saw the signs. Saro, what have you done now? Arolake, don't you know the kind of man you eloped with? Well, actually, she doesn't. She doesn't know he was an hard worker. She doesn't know he was servicing Awarun. All she wanted was just someone her age, not an old king. Someone she would love and be loved by. Well, Saro confirms that it is true. He impregnated Omonwon and the child will be their child. He says he loves Arolake, but for how long will they remain childless? So having Omonwon to help out is necessary. Saro, he thinks it's Father Abraham. Arolake was crying, remembering what the other queen told her, that she is only meant for the king's pleasure. Then we travel years later. Saro has gotten another wife, a third wife. Arolake was outside with Omonwon's baby. She was crying and Arolake wanted to help out. Instead, Omonwon begins to insult her, using her barrenness to insult her. Now instead of Saro to settle this, he begins to blame Arolake for putting her beads at the child's reach. Hey, Mangudu! Saro calls his male servant to help Arolake pack the bead. She says, hey, it's okay, she doesn't want his help. And the new wife, Bimpe, insults her, calling her pretentious queen. Hey, how did she know Arolake was a queen? Saro, what have you done? That night, Arolake approaches Saro to tell him of how he has hurted her in many ways, betraying her trust, making her an object of mockery, revealing her secrets to that little witch. What do you think will happen if the news gets to Oyoile that his fugitive wife is alive and living well with Saro? Saro just feels unbothered. She calls Saro an ungrateful beast of a man and Tawai! Saro slaps her. The betrayer. Arolake just smiles and walks away. The next morning, the king sends for Saro. Yes, the prince is dead. What a pity. Saro is confident that he will resurrect him. By the way, he has got his eyes on the princess again. The king says anything he desires in the land, he will give him. Okay. Saro says it won't cost you much. Okay, what do you want? The mouthpiece then tells the king what Saro says he wants. What? The king rushes. Take it easy. See Saro's face. He's not even scared of the king anymore. So pompous. You have the guts to request for my daughter? Saro says, I have been paid way more than that by people who appreciate my power. How much more, the king? The king calls him useless and ungrateful. Me, ungrateful? What did I have in this land that I did not earn by myself? By the look of things, you are the ungrateful one. Hey! He asks them to think about his offer and get back to him when they are ready. Then he leaves. Later we see two men gossiping about the incident at the palace and how Anikulapo has requested to marry the princess. Arolake overhears the conversation. Good. He done set. Arolake took some time to think about her next move. In fact, she had to cry for the next decision she's about to make. Well, decision made. Arolake packs her load and leaves Saro's house. She can't stay and watch him bring in another woman again. Anikulapo was just feeling himself. Then he noticed that Arolake is not around. Where is Arolake? She has packed all her rubbish and she's gone. Eh? Saro just kept eating his food. A messenger arrives from the palace that the king has agreed and he should come immediately. Okay. I hear you have agreed. Yes, so. The chief says not just the king self. The queen has agreed. The chiefs has agreed. Even the princess has agreed to marry you as long as you resurrect her brother. Oh, good. Saro begins his Oscar-winning performance to resurrect the prince. The hype man chief kept narrating and hyping every step Saro takes. Finally, Saro places the god on the corpse and screams, "Arise!" Ha! Ha! He tries the second time. "Arise!" Oh boy, nobody rise. The hype man says, "Be patient, be patient." The king says, "What is taking too long?" Then Saro tries the third time with a longer arise.
Arise!
He don't cast. Saro feels the god and finds that there is nothing inside. Then we see that Arolake has actually emptied the contents before leaving. Hashtag stay wicked. Too late. Saro shed tears. He bites his finger. Excessive pride has led to his downfall. Saro was killed and then placed on the mountain to rot. As usual, the Akala bird arrives to judge him. Wait. I know you are thinking, have they not collected the god from that Akala bird? Well, this is not that first Akala bird. This is another one. So the bird resurrects Saro and then the movie ends. One question though, we know there is a part 2. But will Saro return for the second part? We shall see. Sorry this is long, guys. The movie is almost 2 hours 30 minutes long, so bear with us. And thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, let me come and go and check if I can track down Queen Arolake. We need to come to a conclusion. We need to know where she had gone to, by the way. So take care, guys. See you later. I am Sam and this is the Film Village.